Billy is a beautiful young woman whose life seems just perfect. She lives in a big house with two precious children and a husband named Cooper. Cooper is an amazing man. He's honest, loyal, and hardworking. But Billy is still missing something in her life, and it is sex. Cooper offers her stability and safety, but Billy is dreaming about passion in their sexual life. And it is understandable, she had a really wild past. One night, after another unsuccessful attempt to have sex with Cooper, Billy puts her kids to bed and calls her best friend Sasha. She is still living the free life of a party girl. Billy shares her concerns with the friend and says that she really misses her ex-lover Brad. Later that night, Billy decides to write down her memories about her first night with Brad so she could dive into those emotions one more time. He was a bad boy, owned a music label, and he understood her like nobody else. And she misses him so damn much. In the morning, Billy sees that Cooper has read her journal. They finally have sex and he is acting really violent this time. Billy leaves her kids with a babysitter and heads to Sasha's place to talk and calm her nerves. But when she comes to her friend, she sees half-naked Brad walking out of Sasha's bedroom. Billy leaves and Sasha runs after her. She explains that she's been casually sleeping with Brad and it's not serious. Plus, Billy and Brad broke up 8 years ago. Billy thinks that Sasha is right and they reconcile. On her way home, Billy looks back to the day she first met Cooper. It was 1 month after she broke up with Brad. Cooper, a young and charismatic investment banker, was a perfect replacement for Brad, who wasn't just a bad boy, he was really crazy. For example, during one of their dates, Brad took Billy underground where they almost got hit by the train. Back home, Cooper wants to make things up with Billy. He buys her a beautiful dress and asks for a romantic date. After reading her journal, he does everything to make her feel the same excitement she had in the past. They have an amazing evening. After they get back home, Billy gets a call from Brad. He says that he can't stop thinking about her. Meanwhile, Cooper sees Billy's laptop and memories of what he has read about his wife make him vomit. Oh, this couple has a serious problem. Things get weird. Cooper has a new habit, reading Billy's journal and masturbating. He also Googles Brad to find out more about him. He starts spying on him and even follows Brad to the gym's shower to check up on his body. Oh my god. Meanwhile, Billy is busy helping her son Hudson to adjust in the new kindergarten. But everything she can think about is Brad. She calls Sasha and gives her the green light to date Brad if she wants to, just to show that she doesn't care anymore. Billy has a flashback of how toxic Brad was in the past. Because of his own family problems, he kept pushing her away and hurting her feelings. Is he worth all the drama after all? In the evening, Billy meets Cooper after work. They have fast sex in the car, but Billy doesn't enjoy it. Brad comes to Sasha's apartment and video calls Billy to show him having sex with her best friend. But instead of hanging up, Billy continues watching them and pleasuring herself. After this, Billy feels ashamed and needs to talk to Sasha, and she finally starts hiding her journal from Cooper. Cooper, though, is already losing control over the situation and visits Brad in his office. There, he discovers that his wife and Brad have been in touch for a while. Billy and other moms from the kindergarten take a tour in Soho. This place awakens Billy's memories of Brad. Billy tells the moms about her problem and they try to encourage her. Later, Billy visits Sasha and they have a sincere talk. Sasha says that Billy would be much better without Brad. Meanwhile, Cooper and his friend Dev go to the bar after work. There, Cooper meets his ex-girlfriend, but their conversation leads nowhere. He also has a couple of drinks with his sexy boss Francesca, who's flirting with him. But Cooper loves his wife and rejects her as well. At night, Brad calls Billy and shows his erotic tattoo which he made for her 8 years ago. Cooper finally confronts Billy about her obsession with Brad. To prove to him that she is not a cheater, Billy offers to have a double date with Sasha and Brad. As it was expected, the dinner turns into a disaster. Brad is acting inappropriately, Cooper is jealous, and Sasha is just confused. In the middle of the scandal, Cooper drops everything and leaves to meet Francesca and her partners in the bar. Sasha runs away as well. Brad gives Billy a ride home and asks to come in and look at her kids. That's weird. A long time ago, they almost broke up because of Billy's pregnancy. Then Brad didn't want any children and thought he would make a terrible father. So why is he acting like that right now? After meeting with the partners, Cooper and Francesca sit in a taxi and continue their evening alone. Of course, he didn't cheat on Billy. He just spent the night at Francesca's place. She is, though, ready to wait as long as it takes to get him. Billy and Cooper's marriage is at a dangerous point. Cooper gets a huge promotion at work. Happy, he runs home, but Billy is not there. She is with Brad. Billy finds out that thanks to her, Brad eventually managed to solve his daddy issues and reconcile with his father. Unfortunately, even this can't make her forget about how she lost her child from Brad. That was the beginning of the end of their relationship. Eventually, Billy realizes that she has to go home. When she arrives, there is no Cooper or kids inside. Terrified, she sees them coming back from a walk. Billy understands that her family is the most important thing in her life and she can't lose it. Brad seriously wants to get Billy back. He tells Sasha about it. Sasha reminds him about what he did after Billy's miscarriage 8 years ago. He was a real asshole. He left Billy when she needed him the most. He cheated on her. He even kicked her out of his house. This can be forgiven even after all this time. Meanwhile, Billy is doing everything to reconcile with Cooper. And it's not as easy as she imagined. Eventually, they decide to try to save their marriage and work through their issues. Cooper's friend Dev and his wife Trina offer them to attend a swingers party so they could add some spice to their sexual life. There, Cooper starts kissing Billy in front of everybody, but she feels uncomfortable and asks him to stop. Sometimes it's really hard to guess what this woman needs, isn't it? The party is going out of control when Dev makes a move on Billy. Cooper attacks him and they fight. After they go back home, Billy receives a text from Brad. He's waiting for her outside. When she comes out and asks him to leave, he gives her a ring. He bought it 8 years ago to propose. Brad says that he still loves her. Billy imagines their perfect life together but still says no. She loves Cooper and can't leave him. The problem is Cooper saw them through the window and didn't hear their conversation. Brad goes away. The next day, everybody's life gets only more complicated. Cooper blames Billy for waking up the dark side of him. In the kindergarten, other moms shame Billy and make their children ignore Hudson. At work, Cooper is in serious trouble because of beating up Dev. Francesca says that Billy will destroy his life completely if he doesn't leave her. After work, Cooper heads to Brad's place. They have an open conversation about Billy. Brad admits that he is madly in love with her, but she can be happy only with her husband. Cooper makes an important decision. He runs to his wife. He stands up for Billy in front of everyone who was shaming her. They are both ready to fight for their relationship and their happiness together. They start everything from scratch. Billy starts working at the university. She fixes things with other mommies in the kindergarten. Cooper doesn't lose his job and reconciles with Dev. Sasha becomes a best-selling author and gets engaged with a good guy named Alex. Everything seems amazing. But here we go again. Billy realizes that she has a perfect life. But this is not enough for her. She rushes to Brad. While Cooper is watching her in the tracking app, she arrives at Brad's apartment. She says that she won't leave her husband, and she asks Brad to have sex with her.